Hello and welcome to The Reasons I'm Broke. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
And for anyone joining us, this is a podcast about comic books, movies, TV, video games, Kelly and I's favorite things that we buy every week, the things that make us broke.
Yep.
You hear us talk a lot about Batman, a lot about the animated series mainly. That's where you hear the theme song from. We've got a new theme song to debut this week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll get to that later once we get to the comics, but first we start off with news. The Legend of Korra finale. This is the end of Book 2, and we finally got around to seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't as impacting as I think the first finale was. We got to see Uncle Iroh again. That made me happy. Mm-hmm. But it seemed like there was a lot of loose ends that they just kind of went, well, and then this happened with them.
Yeah, they glossed over a lot of things, didn't they?
Exactly. Like the fact that I guess the South and the North are suddenly BFFs again.
You're right.
She's like, we're still connected, but the South is separate now, and my dad's in charge.
like everyone's cool with it. Like, yeah, that's cool.
Or, you know, she and Mako's breakup, where Mako's like, BT dubs, we really broke up. And she's like, yeah, we just can't be together. But I'll always love you. And then they go their separate ways. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I felt it reflected the rest of the season too. Like it was just mediocre. It wasn't like the best. It wasn't terrible, but it didn't progress too much with Korra as a person. I think the person that grew the most out of all of them was Tenzin.
Yes, I did really like that. Getting to see Tenzin with his siblings and understanding. I did like that they pointed out that, you know, Aang wasn't perfect. He wasn't really that great of a dad. He pushed his kids and made his kids feel like they needed to live up to something that they couldn't. Mm-hmm. So I did like that they pointed that out, but that was a very small part of this whole story.
The whole spirit bending as well wasn't like her powers. She could do it now, and we got to see. I think what made Book 2 worth watching overall was the one episode where you got to see the first bender, the first Avatar.
Juan.
Yeah.
Yes, that was amazing getting to see the story.
Right, I felt like that one episode alone made the whole season worth it. We didn't get like as epic of a battle as we did in that one episode that Korra did when she turned into like a giant Avatar transformer and battled the other thing. So like that was really silly. But when you actually saw, what was his name again, Avatar One, actually attacking and fighting and almost dying for the world, like that was a more interesting story and a more interesting finale. Like almost feels like that should have been it. But then just leave Korra. Like, and then they looked like if you're gonna gloss over anything, gloss over the ending of Book 2, and you just have that one episode be the ending. Then
it was great though, because we get to see why the Avatar is the Avatar. You know what makes them special. We get to see learning different powers and all that kind of stuff. It was really well done. I even like they changed up the art a little bit.
Yeah, they did,
which I really liked as well. They did a phenomenal job.
We also got to see a movie this week.
Mm-hmm. We saw Frozen from Disney Animation Studios.
Yeah, they made the Rapunzel movie, Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph last year.
Yep. And
they came out with Frozen this year. That trailer that I didn't like, that teaser with the snowman.
I'm glad that scene didn't actually happen in the movie. That would have made me really mad.
It sort of did, but it was like really quick. Because remember, he thought his nose was gone, and then what was that, like the moose gives it right back to him?
The reindeer. Mm-hmm. Elk, whatever he is.
Right. So what are your thoughts about Frozen overall?
It was okay. I think Disney Studios, they're trying, but it's been a long time since we've had something really, really... We went back and looked, what was it, like 2000? Since a really, really good movie came out of that studio.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You know, I feel like... I did like they tried to incorporate more songs in it, like we used to have back in the day, but they still felt out of place, and I don't know if it's because I'm older now than I was when I was little. Mm-hmm. You know, watching Pocahontas, you're like, it makes total sense that they're singing while they're digging up dirt. And here I'm like, this makes no sense that she's singing and dancing around the house.
Yeah.
I will give it this. It had some more memorable songs than I thought Princess and the Frog did. Mm-hmm. Because I always, do you want to build a snowman? And I cry.
I don't know, Princess and the Frog had people in the theater clapping.
Yeah, it's because she was black. But I thought it was good. You could definitely tell it was written by a woman because not everybody ended up with a man in the end. It was more about sisterly love rather than, finding a prince to come and save you.
Yeah, that was what I gave it credit for too, is that they did try to do something different with the traditional story. True love isn't always between, two people that actually love each other like, man and a woman, man, man, woman and woman, but it's not so much about the mating. It can also be about family, and that's what this movie is emphasizing.
But I thought it looked really pretty. They had some great scenes.
Yeah, the animation was great, and the design for the Elsa, when she made like the castle and the
So
dress
cool.
and everything, the character design, the models were very memorable. The problem with this movie I had also was that I didn't want to so much follow Anna. I wanted to know about Elsa's story. She was the more interesting character in this because she was the one with the fault, with the power that she needed to hide from everyone. But we were still following Anna and her story and how she's going to eventually fall in love with this other guy. And instead, like the more interesting character, she secludes herself up in a mountain, and we don't follow her and we don't find her. And it's like, we want to follow her. I want to know more about her. Why couldn't she be the main character? I guess that would be too heavy of a character or too dark of a movie then. But
They did a lot to make this movie very light. You threw in the funny reindeer, you threw in the funny snowman, you threw in the weird guy who talked to his reindeer. If we had switched, I mean, it could have very easily been a very serious movie. You start following Elsa, you make it a real reindeer, not a silly dog reindeer. You get rid of that snowman, and you have this rugged mountain man who can be quirky, but not necessarily silly. It would have been a very serious, almost dark movie.
yeah, and I'm glad that we did see Elsa's development throughout the movie also. And by the end of it, I guess everything gets fixed for her.
Yeah.
In a way. But I
That
think
escalated very quickly, too. People went from, you're a monster, to, yay, it's snowing.
she's cool. We like snow
She's
now.
awesome.
You guys were bitching about the snow the entire movie and how you needed to murder this lady because it was snowing all the time. And now you're cool with it? All right, whatever. Disney. So we'd probably say rent it if you really want to watch
Yeah.
it. Don't buy it. Don't go out and see it in theaters. It's kind of expensive, so I would try to rent it from Netflix or
Dollar
Redbox.
theater.
Yeah, maybe Dollar Theater.
If it goes there.
Yeah.
Next, we do have, I don't know if you guys have seen it, the Batsgiving image. I know it's a little after Thanksgiving. Sorry we took a week off, guys. Hope you enjoyed our podcast with Bobby. But this image is amazing. It gives so much foreshadowing for what's to come in the Bat universe. And it's drawn well and it tells a great story.
Yeah, people have had their guesses at what this picture could mean. If you don't know what this is, Google Bats Giving image, and it should be like the first result. And it's pretty much the Bat family, a couple of villains having like a Thanksgiving dinner, but there's some creepy imagery to this thing, like that's going to tell a story of what they're going to do with the characters. For example, I guess Kelly and I are going to discuss some of the stuff that we discovered and some of the stuff that everyone else on the internet has pointed out. And one of the more interesting things that I immediately noticed when I first saw this was Alfred. He has a turkey, he's giving it to Batman, but Alfred is actually in a straitjacket. So that for some reason, that's immediately what I focused on, because I'm like, wait, why is he going crazy? I don't like this. It's the creepiest part of the picture.
Undercover in Arkham, I don't know. What I'm immediately drawn to is Joker's daughter hiding under the table. Like,
Looking up at Catwoman.
yeah, freaky as shit, man.
Probably has to do with the fact that she's going to have her own series now. Her own comic book.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I read the first one and was like, this was great. Let's make a whole series.
I don't know.
They should be fired.
They just looked at sales and said, we can probably make money. And they probably will.
They probably will. I do like that you see Catwoman looking over at Batman, too.
It kind of looks like she's...
She's looking at Batman. Just give me this.
I think she's looking over at Gordon.
I think they're going to fall in love.
And you also see on that same table with Catwoman, you see Professor Pig
With the Penguin.
with the Penguin, and he's playing with two trains. So I don't know if that's a plot involving the Gotham subway system or whatever, but he is with the Penguin, so somehow the two maybe are going to work together on one of the stories that they're going to do. This, by the way, also ties into the Batman Eternals, which is that Batman weekly comic book. They were saying that this is mainly what that's going to allude to.
At the table, we also have, I forget her name, the one who turned Two-Face into Two-Face.
Yeah, I think it was Emma.
I thought it was Aaron.
Aaron, it was Aaron. That's what
Aaron.
it was. So Aaron from the Batman and Robin comic book, the current arc, is at the table. So she's going to be a character that's going to be continuing on to Batman Eternals, I guess.
And finally at the table, we have, is that Amanda Waller?
We thought it was Amanda Waller at first, but from an interview from one of the artists, he said that it's actually an original character we haven't seen yet. So we don't know who that is.
But she's chilling at the villain's table.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
And I guess what else is symbolized from that is Catwoman isn't really at the table, but she still has her hand on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of symbolizing her duality with being a hero and being a villain. She's kind of in the middle, but a little bit more villain. I don't know. I kind of feel like that's what I got from that.
We also have Red Hood in the back, and you have Batgirl back in her original costume, which was exciting for me.
Mm-hmm. And up going on the actual house, there's a poison ivy plant. So she's going to be in one of the stories. And then, of course, we see Gordon, and he's in kind of like he's in an arrested position.
Mm-hmm.
So some action, I'm hoping it's from the Batgirl arc, something he does is going to get him arrested. And it looks like Harvey Bullock has taken him away. It'd be kind of cool to see Bullock kind of centralized in this story. I really want to see more of Bullock, and I feel like they can do so much with the character.
Right, he is a great, very complex character. Over all the way to the left, we have Batwoman with something shiny on her finger. I guess a lot of people were speculating that it was an engagement ring, but it's actually on her right hand, not her left. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm sure everything in this photo is intentional.
Right.
So I don't know the meaning for that, but she is there with her woman from the comics.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And the three characters also in the background, I think that's a Red Hood member along with Lucius Fox. And I think that's Falcone, although I could be wrong. If you want to correct me on Twitter, @ReasonsI'mBroke. And we're going to move on to some more of the background here. You have the Iceberg Casino, the Iceberg Lounge. A lot of people thought it was the Fortress of Solitude, but it's more of the Penguins Casino.
I thought it was Mr. Freeze's Island.
Mr. Freeze Island.
That's what I would name it.
There's a sign up front, Mr. Freeze Island.
There is also a white owl sitting on the tree, so definitely Court of Owls there.
Overlooking everything.
Yep, a lot of smoke. I know it's from the fire, but it could symbolize something.
And it's separating the Gotham City Police Department with the rest of the Bat family and the villains. I don't know if that was, I'm sure it was intentional. But onto the Bat Kids, the Bat Children. Of course, we do see Harper Row with a kind of a worried look on her face. I'm not sure if she's looking at us, the reader, or if she's actually looking at this other hooded figure who has a purple sweater on. We can't see, I'm assuming her face, but we can't see her face at all. And a lot of people think that's just Stephanie Brown, since they're bringing her back.
Very possible. We also have Robin there and silly Nightwing going for a new look. He's blonde now.
Right. Probably has to do with the Forever Evil. Well, not dead, but taking on a new identity.
Blonde. Or it could be a new Nightwing altogether.
It could be.
Maybe Dick Grayson finally dies.
No, I don't think he's going to die, but I don't know who it is. I still think it's Dick Grayson, just under a new identity. Because he has the same hairstyle. Everything's pretty much the same.
Then why did he just change his hair color? That doesn't look any different.
It'll fool everyone. If Clark Kent can fool people into not seeing him as Superman, then he can fool Nightwing, who people don't really, really know as much as they do Superman. He'll fool them. It's fine. And my favorite one, I think, is
my favorite too.
Ace the dog with a little Robin bird sitting on top of him.
Oh, Robin. It still hurts. Should it still hurt?
It's too soon. It's too soon. Even though he has a comic already where he's back. But I do like the little little Robin. I think that means Damian is coming back soon.
I wish.
Hopefully.
It may just be a nod to him. We don't know. Ace and Robin are standing very close to a pile of bones, too. So
oh, that's true.
It could just be a nod.
And all the artists said about the pile of bones was that it's both characters that have died and that will die in the next year. So we don't really know. I think we counted 5 human skeletons.
Creepy.
I think it was 5 of them.
Who's counting that stuff?
But that is the Batsgiving image. If you find any more symbolic imagery in that, definitely let us know on Twitter @ReasonsI'mBroke, #Batsgiving.
Something else that released this week was the Amazing Spider-Man 2 trailer. This is going to be released, I want to say March?
I think it said May.
May? And one of those in months. I don't know.
It's going to feature a couple of villains this time. Looks like it's leading up to the Sinister Six.
Yep, we get to see Green Goblin and Electric Man.
Electro.
Electric Man.
Pikachu Man.
Yes, Pikachu Man. Overall, I didn't think it looked as good as the first one did.
See, I thought the first one was, it was alright. I enjoyed it. I think this one might be the same. I like the costume a lot more in this Spider-Man than in the last one. They made the eyes like bigger and white instead of yellow like in the last movie. And it kind of looks more like Mark Bagley's Ultimate Spider-Man design. That's exactly what it reminded me of. So I really like the mask. I like the large Spider-Man white eyes. And I felt like that's what the previous movies didn't really get.
But let's talk about the Green Goblin's costume.
Oh, God.
Just a wig.
It's just hair that's shaped in kind of a hood or whatever. But it's, I don't know, it's not very good. I don't know what's so difficult about putting a hood, like a purple hood on an actor and then putting like the green makeup on them. I don't know. It's just something that would be so easy to do, but they haven't done it yet. Not even in the first Spider-Man trilogy, in the first movie.
Because they want to do something different.
I guess they're trying to be more realistic with it, but I don't know. I would work it into the writing. I mean, they kind of got Electro right. He's blue. They got the electrocution effects going on, and the veins are all lit up. I think it's perfect.
They spent all their money on him. They're like, oh man, here, shape this wig to look like a hood.
And Green Goblin done. So I don't know, but that's just one of those things. It's a minor complaint. As long as the movie is good, that's all that really matters.
We'll see. It didn't look that good to me.
Yeah, we'll see. And Warner Brothers has registered a bunch of domain names, one of which could be the official name for the Batman, Superman, Man of Steel sequel.
I already told you what the official name was. And when we get to the end of our news, I'll tell everybody what the official name is.
So here's a couple of them. We'll run down and we'll see what Kelly thinks of each of these. Man of Steel, Battle of the Night. Man of Steel, Beyond Darkness. Man of Steel, Black of Night.
See, why do they have to spell it with a K? Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue.
Man of Steel, Darkness Falls.
Okay, I'll take that one.
Man of Steel, Night Falls.
But Superman would save him, so why is he falling?
Man of Steel, Shadow of the Night.
Okay, I do like that one.
Man of Steel, The Blackest Hour.
Sounds like Darkest Day.
Blackest Night?
Yeah, whatever.
Man of Steel, The Darkness Within.
Okay, I like that one too. But only if we're focusing on Superman's darkness within and him dealing with having just killed Zod. Spoilers, sorry. Superman killed Zod.
In Man of Steel. So your favorite of these, do you like any of them?
I like Darkness Falls. I like Shadow of the Night. I like Darkness Within. So, I mean, some are okay. I feel like they're trying to get too complicated with this, though. Make it Superman versus Batman. That's all you need to make it. Everyone already assumes it's tied into Man of Steel.
Right.
And you're going to get so much more hype about it than if you released Man of Steel 2, The Darkness Within. Well, that kind of sounds like Star Trek. I take that out. I don't like that one anymore.
Did they ever call him Superman in the Man of Steel movie? Do you remember? Lewis almost did, but I don't remember if, like, at the end they show the newspaper, like, Superman saves the city.
Maybe at the very end they called him Superman? Maybe.
Man of Steel versus The Dark Knight.
No, just call it Superman.
Superman versus Batman?
Yeah.
Well, this next bit of news may change all of this, because I think we can both come up with a better title. Yours is better than the one I was trying to be official about this. And,
no, you can't be official.
Wonder Woman has officially been cast and confirmed for the Man of Steel sequel, the Batman versus Superman movie. 28-year-old Israeli actress Gal Gadot will play Wonder Woman in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel sequel.
I am not unhappy about this. You showed me her picture. I think, I mean, I've never seen her acting. She could suck. But she looks like she could play a Wonder Woman. They're going to definitely have to stick some big heels on her because you said she was pretty short.
She's 5'9".
Yeah. And I imagine Wonder Woman to be as tall as Superman. Like,
right, exactly.
That's just what it is. So, and I think they'll definitely do that. They're not going to make her seem like a vulnerable character. She's going to look like she can match up with all of these guys.
Yeah, with a little bit of movie magic, you can make, I mean, Wolverine, they had to put Hugh Jackman, make him a little bit shorter, because Hugh Jackman's a big guy, and Wolverine is like 5'0". he's like not 5 foot nothing. He's a short character, but for someone like Wonder Woman, they can probably work something out.
You stick her in big enough heels, you're fine. Just put her in some platforms.
And a lot of people have been complaining that she's really, really skinny. But it's like, do you really think they're just going to throw her in as is? Like, they're not going to put her through some workout routines or anything?
She's probably working out right now, and she's going to be working out for the next 16 hours today. Then she's gonna sleep and wake up and work out again. Like,
exactly.
She's gonna be built by the time we get to this movie.
Like, we already know Ben Affleck's been working out for the role of Batman, so obviously all the characters are going to be.
That must be nice. Can someone pay me to work out?
It might not be so nice because they might measure you and be like, your arms need to be bigger, keep working. And you're like, shit, I don't know how to go quicker. But they all have their personal trainer that let them know, this is what you have to do every day. This is what you have to eat every day.
I would love that. Please. If any of you out there are personal trainers and want to tell me what to eat every day, I won't listen to you, but let me know.
You're like, I'll eat Oreos.
Oreos are vegan.
That's true. So, Wonder Woman is now in the movie. Mm-hmm. I was thinking more of a title along like the Justice League Trinity or something. It can't really be Batman versus Superman unless Wonder Woman is just making a cameo or a short role in it. I
don't know that they would call it Justice League, though, because they're not the Justice League yet. Maybe at the end of the movie, but you still don't want to allude to the end of the movie with the title.
So, I don't know. I don't think the Trinity is specific enough to, like, comic book Justice League. Not for a lot of people, it doesn't scream Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what we would... I mean, you've got a better title.
I do, but let's talk about your official titles.
That was it. Like, Justice League, the Trinity.
See, I don't think it'd be Justice League.
And it can't be Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Mm-mm. The Three Amigos. I don't know. I'd have to think on it. Let me come up with a really good one this week. I'll get you a really good title.
Okay. Sounds
really good official title.
Alrighty.
But the really good unofficial title is Superman versus Wonder Woman, the fight for Batman's love.
What's really funny is when you found out about my friend Alex, who's been on the podcast in the past, he did the Superman versus Batman read-along from the 2000s. Mm-hmm. And he came up with almost the exact title. It was Superman versus Wonder Woman, the battle for Batman's affection.
Both are very good. Both are very true.
Very true. That's all it's going to be about. So we're really excited. I think it was a good move to go with a lesser-known actress.
Yeah, agreed.
You already have Ben Affleck in there, and Henry Cavill is now like that middle ground because he has had his own movie, The Man of Steel. Everyone knows Ben Affleck, and now you have someone lesser known. So it's a good balance. You have both, best of all worlds.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting. They're probably going to throw in a love with Wonder Woman somewhere. Triangle, yeah. Mm-hmm. Superman loves Batman. Batman loves... No. So it's going to be interesting because if they go with Superman, which I do like Wonder Woman and Superman together, I think they're both very powerful and they need someone else who understands that power. And they're very opposite because Wonder Woman's all about kill and destroy. And Superman's like, no, we gotta save these people. Flowers and peace and love.
And Batman.
And Batman. But he's got Lois Lane, which they didn't really develop that relationship in the movie, but hopefully they'll do it now.
Right.
So, and then on the other side you have Batman and Wonder Woman, but that wouldn't end in anything by the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. Interesting. We'll see where they go with it.
And with that, we can move on to comics. Mm-hmm. Since we didn't have an official comic book podcast last week, we had our Holiday Cast 2013. Be sure to check that out on iTunes or on IPP Podcast or YouTube, actually. But we are going to go ahead and give our picks of the week for last week. We'll start out with mine, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 28, written by Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman, with art by Matteo Santoloco. This was the final part to City Fall. And I think what I liked best about this final issue to this arc is that not everything is tied up. We get a hint of what the Turtles are going to be dealing with from here on out. And it's all going to center around Leonardo. He was still brainwashed. He's still very confused about who he's with and who his real family is. And I think that they can really go in some interesting directions with it.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be rough. Beyond just confusion, he's feeling guilt for everything that he had to go through. He had to beat up his brothers and his father and, pledge his allegiance to his father's greatest rival. Mm-hmm. And that's really hard, him trying to deal with that, and to see him try to deal with it by himself, where if he pulled in his family, I think it would be much easier for him. But he actually takes his mask off and everything. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to... they're on the run now. We're going to see a lot of really good stuff, I think, coming up in the next ones.
And your pick of the week?
My pick of the week was, no surprise, Saga number 16. This is written by Brian K. Vaughan with art by Fiona Staples. I don't think there has been a weak issue ever. And then you get some really cool twists in this one. We find out about Alana and who she might really be. And so now I'm reading this whole thing questioning, like, is she really that, or is she really this, or what's going on? And then in the end, we're about to see a whole lot of conflict.
Yeah, so those were our picks of the week for last week. And with that, we can jump into this week's comics. We'll start out with the graphic novel, Adventure Time Pixel Princesses. It's written by Danielle Corsetto. Art, we have several artists here because at the very end there are a couple of short stories.
Oh, they were so cute.
Zach Sterling, Tessa Stone, Corey Lewis, Kristen Garland, and Paulina Ganacho.
This was a very quick read, very light, pretty funny. Good job, LSP.
Yeah. I like all the new princesses that we're introduced to from the Candy Kingdom. My favorite being Embryo Princess. Exactly what it sounds like.
She was pretty cool. I like that she was so smart, too.
Incredibly smart. She's just a little embryo, and they draw her with like all veiny and stuff and a little bubble all the time with a crown. It's just an embryo with a crown on it. And that's the princess. That was my favorite because they were ballsy enough to put that in there.
Yeah, that was a great princess. We get to see Breakfast Princess, Turtle Princess, who's a man, I think, too.
Best friends with LSP.
Oh, that makes sense. They're both really men as princesses.
That's true, yeah.
We get to see LSP being gross. Muscle Princess, who I think is really funny. And Skeleton Princess. Hers was great. How she saved all the princesses. Amazing. But pretty much the premise is BMO wants to be a princess too. And so the weird trick man, what was his name?
It's the magician, right?
The magician, yeah, that guy. He hears BMO, he's like, yeah, why not? So he transports all the princesses into BMO, and then the princesses are going through games to try and get to the end to save themselves.
And all BMO wants to do is be a princess with them, and at the same time, at the end of it, LSP realizes that being a princess isn't just because it's something giving to you. It's also about the quality, the character that you are. And that's what I guess the message of the story is. Yeah. Each of them do something good, and they earn their princess status, I guess.
They save the princesses or whatever. Right. But like I said, very light read, very quick. I think it was worth it.
Yeah, I think I liked the number one better with the Flame Princess, with her relationship with Finn. But this wasn't bad. I think it's an $11.99 book.
That's not bad. Can I color the pictures?
That's the thing. It is in black and white.
But I bet that saves on the... great.
It was still great, and that saves on the cost of the book, too. That keeps the book down. So, yeah, it was worth it. We liked it. Not our pick of the week.
No. Also, I wanted to point out the little stories at the end that you were talking about.
Right.
They were all little Gunter stories.
Yeah.
And Gunter on a date and missing Ice King and having a party. And it was really, really cute.
Yeah, I like those, too.
Next, we're going to start out with our indie books. We have God is Dead #4. This is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by D. Amarim. This was spooky.
It was spooky. It feels like it's going more like full-on silly now.
Yeah.
Like the series is just like, fuck it. Now there's all these gods, and now they're
just killing each other.
The scientists, yeah.
We made our own god, but it's really the devil, and it's going to rip this guy apart.
And all these gods are fighting these guys, and... yeah, it's just kind of all over the place. For what it is, it's an entertaining story. It's an entertaining book. I felt like it's declined since the beginning, and from what we thought it was.
Agreed.
But, I mean, there's only a couple of issues left. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's 6 parts. And they're actually turning it into an ongoing series because of how well it's sold. But it won't be Jonathan Hickman as the writer.
We'll check it out then.
Yeah, I plan on still picking them up and seeing what kind of story they come up with. But I guess the irony of the story is that they're bringing about the end of the world, the scientists, by trying to create another being that can fight these other gods, because they figured out that these gods can be killed and can be hurt.
Right.
So they should be able to make like a clone out of the body parts that they've collected. But then they end up making like a demon that they end up shooting in the head because they're like, whoops.
Yeah, one thing that bothers me about it a little bit, and I guess it's, I don't know, kind of minor. We have all these different gods, but when they talk about their mythology, they're always relying on the Bible. I would rather them see, oh shit, we made this Greek thing that's, was supposed to bring about the end of the world. Mix it up a little bit rather than just, you're seeing these other gods kill themselves, but we're bringing stuff from the Bible.
Right. Yeah, I understand.
That's what, I mean, I guess kind of minor. It's just something that bothers me. I would rather see a bigger variety.
Right, I agree. On to the next indie book, TMNT Villain Micro Series number 8. It is the final one in the Villain Micro Series, The Shredder. It's written by Paul Allor and art by Dan Duncan.
I really liked this.
Me too.
I really, really liked this one. I thought it was an awesome tie-in to following TMNT that we saw last week.
Right.
I feel kind of bad for Shredder now.
Yeah, me too. Like, this is the kind of shit that we enjoy. Mm-hmm. When you feel for the character, the villain that you're supposed to root against the entire time, and now you're like, you know what? He's all right.
You can take over the city, Shredder. It's all cool.
I think why we felt bad for the Shredder is because we realized that his path is inevitable, and he doesn't learn from his mistakes, and even when a vision is given to him of his future, he's still like, well, I'm gonna just get stronger and more powerful and more
overcome
evil
this vision.
and overcome this instead of trying to change something.
Right. It was really good. I don't want to give anything away from it, but I would definitely recommend picking that. I mean, it's just a little one issue.
Yeah, it's a one shot. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. Probably my second favorite book this week.
It was
almost
really
my
good.
pick of the week. Yeah.
I don't know. What's my pick of the week?
I've got mine already.
I got mine. Done. Picked out. Okay, next up we have, moving into Marvel, Cataclysm Ultimate's Last Stand, number 2 of 5. This one's written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by Mark Bagley.
Yeah, we had talked about Mark Bagley earlier with the Amazing Spider-Man movie. But there's going to be 5 parts to this, and I feel like this issue tells you how they're going to save Miles Morales and put him into the Marvel 616 universe. They tied in the Spider-Men story so well into this Last Stand Cataclysm book that it all makes sense. It makes sense why Miles is the only one that's probably going to be saved from the Ultimate Universe. Mm-hmm. And it's because he's had this crossover before with Peter Parker from 616, and we read that crossover, which was pretty entertaining. And then here, it all makes sense. Like, okay, yeah, that's why he's going to make it past Galactus and everything. And it's good. I liked it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying following this too. I don't really know a lot about, Marvel or the Ultimates or anything, but they make it very easy for me to pick it up and kind of follow along, and I'm really entertained.
Mm-hmm. If you want to read it for yourself, check it out, marvel.com/redeem. First person that goes in there and plugs in the following code will be able to read it.
Your code is TMAQSLYSH29Q.
Let us know what you think on Twitter @ReasonsI'mBroke. Next disappears Spider-Man number 23. It's written by Dan Slott and Christos Gage with art by Humberto Ramos.
Oh, Superior Spider-Man. Get things going so good and then you ruin them.
Really? My pick of the week.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
My pick of the week.
Well, I'm just saying for him, it was really good, but for himself, like, he's got Aunt May thinks he's awesome again. He's got his lovely lady, and then he has to go and screw it up with Flash Thompson.
Right. Flash Venom. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And just make everybody angry with him again.
The thing is, here we do see that he is willing to kill Venom because he says that the symbiote should have been destroyed a long time ago, that it doesn't benefit humanity in any way. It just gets in the way, and Flash Thompson, I don't think he really has a problem with because he can't access Peter Parker's memories anymore, so he doesn't really remember that Flash Thompson bullied Peter Parker in high school. And here I like this because he fixed Aunt May's legs, and she's able to walk again. And he fixed Flash Thompson's as well. And I feel like the cliffhanger at the end, everyone kind of saw it coming. It always happens anytime Venom enters any kind of story. And, I'm a sucker for that stuff. I like it.
Yeah, it was very good. Not my pick of the week, but very good. And if you guys want to read it for yourself, also, first person who gets this code, they probably got the last code too. So, 2 comics.
Gotcha, bitch.
But you can read this at marvel.com/redeem.
TMA3J64SWSVG.
So
Enjoy.
read it for yourself. Let us know what you think. Twitter.com @ReasonsI'mBroke. Now we're going to move into our DC. We have Batman Superman number 6. This one's written by Greg Pak with art by Brett Booth.
And here's where we introduce our new segment to the podcast. we now have a short theme song for the Superman Loves Batman moments, which is what you called this book. You're like, how many books do you have to read? And she's like,
just Batman Loves Superman.
or Superman Loves Batman.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry. Yes, just Superman Loves Batman. That is what this comic is, though.
Yeah, that's what it's definitely turned into. Even from the first one, though, when it was Jay Lee doing the artwork and everything, it was still Superman and Batman. And
being in love with Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
So now we do have this theme song. Who was the artist again?
Capital City.
Capital City. The song's name is Safe and Sound. So we took the short clip from the song, split it up, and we'll play it before every Superman Loves Batman moment.
There's a lot. I don't think we can play it before everyone.
Well, not everyone, but at least once an episode when we see those. I hope you enjoy the theme song. It makes sense. We were listening to the song.
Just listen to the words. This is Superman's writing in his diary about Batman.
Or saying it to him as he's saving him. I don't know. All right, here it is, theme song. Perfect.
Who came up with it? Did I point that out first? I think I pointed.
I don't remember who pointed it out first, but it definitely fits.
This one did have a lot of gay Superman moments, though.
Mm-hmm.
Batman, without giving too much away, gets critically injured.
Right.
And Superman should be going after the bad guy, but he's like, "No, I got Batman." And you have his little word bubbles. So he's like, "I hear screaming, and then I realize it's me." Like, yeah.
He writes like a woman.
He does, because he is a woman for Batman.
You fool, Batman. Like, I thought he would immediately cry instead of just complaining about it, I guess. He was just angry at first.
And then later he's like, I have to hold it together like he does. Like, you're about to fall apart. You just want to be in his arms.
And he keeps mentioning his heartbeat.
Yes.
Like, all the time.
All the time.
Like, that's probably the dead giveaway about it, because he's in sync with Batman's heartbeat at all times. We figured that out with the Return of Bruce Wayne story from pre-52.
Mm-hmm.
Here he brings it up like 3 different times. His heartbeat, I can't hear it anymore. Even when Batman supposedly brought back to life or whatever, he's still like, I still don't hear a heartbeat. It's not him. And you said there was like a super gay Superman pose.
Oh yeah, man, can we put that up on Twitter?
Yeah, I'll try to take a picture and put it up on Twitter.
It was so gay, like pointed toes, flexed his butt cheeks a little bit.
Probably one eyebrow cocked.
Probably. His hip a little bit.
So awesome. But that's what makes it. I do want to point this out, because someone got the wrong message on Instagram. I'm not going to say who the user is. I pointed out, she put up a clip of Batman and Superman arguing, and Batman gets really close to Superman's face, and he's yelling at him like he always does. And I said Superman definitely wanted to be kissed right then. She deletes it and responds with, I hope that wasn't a homophobic comment. I don't tolerate hate speech here. And I was like, just me saying anything gay is automatically homophobic. I guess. Like, homophobic would be me, like, if he was actually gay, Superman, and then I guess me being like, fuck that guy because he's gay. Fuck Superman. I'm never reading anything with Superman ever again. I think that'd be homophobic. But me going like, oh, he wanted a kiss from Batman. Like, that's a good thing. Makes him better. And I replied with, like, just me saying a character wants a kiss from another character that's immediately homophobic. I think it makes him into a more interesting character. I liked Superman way more when we realized after watching Justice League
that he was gay for Batman.
That he loves Batman. That Superman he's only gay for Batman. He doesn't like any other male characters, just the Batman. And we don't blame him. Every guy is gay for Batman too. She deleted that as well. I was like, that. I think that's more anti-gay right now. The fact that you're removing the Superman is probably gay for Batman comments. Like, stop suppressing gay Superman. You're being immoral and judgmental person from Instagram who I'm not going to name.
That's too funny. But if there is any confusion, we are not homophobic. We're not anti-gay.
I still don't see how she got that message.
Some of my best friends... Have you guys ever seen David Totera? Some of my best friends are more flamboyant than he is.
I love that show, by the way. It's on Netflix.
That's a great show. But really, I mean, it's all in good fun. Sorry if we offend anybody.
Somehow, I guess.
But Superman's gay for Batman. It's just the
Sorry.
truth.
Better stories, clearly. Look at the Superman Batman story. If he was not gay for Batman, I'd be reading this like, oh, I guess he's just really likes him.
Yes,
they're
friends.
Best friends.
This is weird.
This is boring. But now we're sitting here enjoying it so much
like,
more.
His heartbeat.
Now go save him.
I can lift you up.
I should play that theme song again now. So perfect. All right, so next is Detective Comics number 26, written by John Layman, art by Aaron Lopresti. This follows the Man-Bat story and puts an end to... What was her name again? It's not She-Bat, is it?
No, she called herself
the Bat Queen.
Bat Queen, Queen Bat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Bat Queen.
And the Queen Bat's design was just like furrier and more deformed, which I didn't get that from the silhouette that we got. I felt like she was going to have an actual like crown type of thing.
The silhouette that we got, though, she was surrounded by bats at the time.
Right, so she didn't even seem as big as she did when they finally revealed the character. Like, she's just this huge, like, monster thing, and, like, that's kind of boring. Like, it's just, I don't know. But here, Man-Bat and Batman work together to try to bring down the Bat Queen, who is actually somehow modified regular bats to be like piranhas, airborne piranhas, where they can eat away at human flesh in the matter of seconds.
Right, she found a certain species of bats that does that anyway. Mm-hmm. And she injected them with her blood, so they're now like she is. And they can kind of mutate and change.
So they're much faster and quicker. But Batman puts an end to that and works with Man-Bat for it. And even had a plan and set.
That was so cool.
That was the best part of that. It's just, you think something didn't go according to plan. Oh wait, and Batman reveals, that was actually my plan.
Langstrom's so funny too. He's like, oh no, our plans have been destroyed.
Batman's like, actually, they haven't. Holy shit, Batman, you fucking did it again. Son of a bitch.
In the end, we see them both go to Arkham. I like that Langstrom went willingly, where he's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done any of this. I am kind of crazy. I need to get, off this addiction. Definitely don't think it's going to be the last we're going to see of them, though.
Yeah, I think he's such a great character, and I love when they use the Man-Bat. Created originally, I think, by Neil Adams. Mm-hmm. Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil. It's part of that Ra's al Ghul fantastic run. One of them was Man-Bat. And I think it's a character that they should use more. Maybe not, definitely would not support his own series, like his own comic book. But, it definitely belongs in the Batman universe and brings something interesting to the characters.
Finally, for DC, we have The Movement number 7. This one's written by Gail Simone with art by Freddie Williams II. I like this. I think this is one of my favorite Movement issues.
So far, me too.
That we've had. Mm-hmm. It was very complete. You got to see... I feel like they've reached the point where, okay, we've set up everybody. Now we can really get into the story and really get into, what they're about and what they're doing.
I think what I like the best about this is every character had their little moment where they had their struggles, and some of them overcame it. Some of them ended up worse. My favorite of which is Burden, or the character is also named Christopher, who I guess turns into a demon. He claims he was possessed by some demon, and he can transform into that demon, which he gets super powerful.
Okay, now, I'm not railing on parents and how they raise their kids, but he believes he's possessed by a demon because his parents tried to exorcise him his entire life. It's his power. He just becomes this monster, but his parents told him he was possessed his whole life and beat him. And
they called it a demon.
Right, that's why his name is Burden, because he feels that what he is a burden on people. So, I'm sorry. Continue.
I felt like the way they solved his problem by kind of tricking him, I thought that was brilliant. What Gail did with that. Yeah, the placebo effect. That was smart. And then now we have the police officer, the head of the CCPD, is now actually helping the movement. It seems like he trusts them now.
That was so cool.
I'm like, good
She's
job,
like,
Black Gordon.
Why are you giving this to me? And he's like, I left it in the cab. How careless of me.
It's definitely Black Gordon. There's no way that's not Black Gordon. It's awesome. I love this character, and I feel like he will almost work really closely with the movement to the point where it'll land him in some trouble in a future story, to the point where they may need to rescue him, and I don't know. It'd be kind of fun if they did that.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. But it ended in a really cool kind of cliffhanger, so can't wait until next month.
Yeah, reviews have been awesome for this, and sales have been very solid for the movement.
Good.
So it's definitely here to stay. So out of the comics this week, my pick of the week was Superior Spider-Man number 23, and yours?
Mine's going to be Batman Superman number 6 because of how gay Superman was.
Very surprising. I think that's the first time Batman Superman has been your pick of the week.
Probably, but so many fun. Like, I think this is the most gay that Superman has ever been for Batman.
I don't know. I think the moment in Justice League Doom when he presents him with the kryptonite bullet trying to propose, like having it be a trick proposal, I think that was pretty up there.
That was up there. But no, this was great with all the, I can't hear your heart. I was around people, so I couldn't hear your heart. Oh, your heart and my heart.
I heard screaming again. It was me. Those were good moments. It was funny. I still don't like that you have to read the book fucking horizontal or not horizontal, but like vertical. It's stupid.
You gotta read it weird ways. Hopefully, there's one more. I think they're gonna wrap it up in the next issue, and hopefully that won't happen anymore.
And we'll top it off. I think for the next couple of podcasts, we're gonna do our favorite blank of 2013, and for this week, we're actually gonna do favorite video games of 2013. And we'll start off with my top 3, and then we'll end with yours. So, or we'll go back and forth, actually.
That's
whatever
fine.
you want to do. You want to do back and forth?
Sure.
All right, so my number 3 is Injustice Gods Among Us. And we played that on the PS3. It's available on the Wii U as well, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, and the PS4. But those are the Game of the Year editions, which has all the extra characters, the costumes, for a cheaper price.
My number 3 was Pokemon X. This game really, really surprised me for 3DS. I think I still haven't beaten it. Don't tell anybody. I've been really busy. Sorry, guys. But overall, I think it's a pretty well-rounded game. Easier than the other ones, which I do dock it for. There's not as much of a challenge.
Exactly.
I don't feel like you switch out your Pokemon enough. Mm-hmm. But it's still, like I said, it surprised me a lot. I was expecting another Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
You know, another Ruby and Sapphire.
Type of game, yeah.
Yeah. It is what Emerald was to... Okay, I'm sorry. Poor diseased kid. Did we ever talk about him?
No, we didn't.
He was great. I'm sorry. Next, number 2.
My number 2 is actually Pokemon Y. Same reasons. It's really good Pokemon game. I think the visuals are a lot of fun. I'm definitely, they've grown on me. I still miss the pixel Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Those are still going to be my favorite. I'm always going to like the pixel graphics. But, this isn't bad. The way they did it with the cinematic camera when you're moving through a certain area of the map and then suddenly it changes. Every chance I get and you see that photo icon, I jump on that and I take photos. I apply the filter and I apply the focuses and I move the camera, use the rule of thirds, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I'm the best Pokemon photographer ever.
I'm a master photographer. Not a Pokemon master, photographer master. I love that you get to ride Pokemon too.
Yeah, that's fun also. And one of the things also that I didn't think I would like, and we have talked about it in the past, but they updated the Pokemon cries for the older Pokemon in this. And for the most part, they stayed the same. Some of them changed a little too much. Yeah, they all sound like that, but at slightly different tones now. So
not just different speeds.
Right. So I like this one. I liked it more than Black and White 1 and 2. And it's definitely the best Pokemon game in years.
My number 2 is going to be Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remix. Still haven't beaten this one either. But I love getting to see my childhood revamped. Mm-hmm. I love seeing it in HD. I love reliving all those moments that I remember from high school and being like, oh shit, I remember this is going to happen. I love seeing the differences because I have the old guide. So I'm seeing what these bosses look like, and I'm like, oh, why'd they make them look like that? But it's a really good game. I think it still holds up after, what's it been, 10 years?
Something like that,
a ridiculously long amount of time. You know, even with, you got Final Fantasy and new characters and Donald Duck, and it all fits together so well. It's a phenomenal game.
And finally, my number one game of 2013 is actually Fire Emblem Awakening.
That was a great game.
I talked about it on the holiday cast, said I'd have to think about it, and I thought about it and I was right. Fire Emblem Awakening, it's a game that I can play over and over again. I love that you can create your own character and it fits well with the story. It actually means something in the story. When you have a kid, that character, that kid actually looks like you and the character that you made it with. It's so great. I love that. I like the option of having it be like the classic Fire Emblems and then more casual Fire Emblem where your characters don't actually permanently die when they die in the map.
Right.
The music is great. The visuals are nice.
It's a great story, too.
And the story, more importantly, is very strong. That's probably the best part of the game is the story. And again, I overlook the graphics. I prefer the pixelated look to the Fire Emblem series as well, just like Pokemon. But graphics are probably the last thing I look at in a video game. It's about story, gameplay, music. That's all always ahead of the graphics to me.
And finally, my number one is Injustice: Gods Among Us. Now, I will have to say, I've never actually played this game. I watched this gameplay. I'm not big on fighting games. The fighting looked cool. But the thing that sealed this for me was the story. It was not a story that I was expecting. It was really, really awesome to see, you know, the alternate universe, and it was so much longer. I think the reason it's my number one is just because it went so far past what I really expected from this game. Because I wasn't expecting a lot. I'm like, great, we get to fight, and it's going to have a little tiny, measly story. But this could have been a movie. Like,
exactly.
This would have been a great movie. So that's why it's number one for me.
Nice. Good. And we do want to mention, just like on the holiday podcast, that games like The Last of Us, Grand Theft Auto, I'm sure are really good games. We haven't personally played them, though, or you haven't watched, you know, me play from beginning to end, give you a good idea of what the game is like an Injustice. So these are obviously personal lists. If you want to share your list, by all means, on Twitter, @ReasonsI'mBroke, #VideoGames2013. And as our last big giveaway for this week...
Oh, this is a big giveaway week.
Yeah. It goes with our video games here. This is a giveaway for an Xbox 360 owner out there. If you go ahead and enter this code onto the Xbox dashboard, just go to redeem code, you'll get a digital copy of Tomb Raider. So this is the following code.
7VR2MCKGGT DMMDC PKB7Y 2B4V6.
Tomb Raider for the Xbox 360. Yeah, go ahead.
First person who downloaded this, very lucky. They got Cataclysm, they got Spider-Man, now they got this game. Good for you, sir.
Happy holidays to that person. Yeah, I wanted to give all these codes out over the podcast as opposed to on Twitter, because I wanted it to actually go to listeners. So there you go.
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening as always.
All two of you.
With that, you can find us on Twitter @ReasonsI'mBroke, #ReasonsI'mBroke.
You can listen to us through iTunes, The Reasons I'm Broke. Make sure you leave a comment and a rating. It helps other people find us.
Yeah, the comments and ratings are very important on iTunes, as we quickly found out. So if you can take a couple of minutes and just leave a quick review, you don't even have to type anything in. If you just rate us on iTunes, that'd be great.
Dan sounds hot. That's all you got to put on there.
I guess he kind of tries to sound like Batman. 5 stars.
And if you don't have iTunes, as always, you can check us out on IPP Podcast through your Android phone. Just search The Reasons I'm Broke, and all of our podcasts will pop up.
Thank you again for listening. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
See you next week.